Welcome to Austin Pepper Garage. So thus far, we've got our fuel bowl rebuilt. We've got our H-pop lines installed with the exception of the crossover. We've got all of our O-rings on our fuel rails, whatnot. We've got our turbo rebuilt. So now we're going to get that crammed off in there and see if the truck will run. Alright folks, we're just going to dive right in getting this turbo crammed off in there. I don't know if y'all ever remember a TV show, The Greatest American Hero. Aliens brought down a Superman suit for him and gave him like superpowers and whatnot, but the problem was he could never fly in it. He never learned how to fly. He's always looking discombobulated and clumsy and goofy, just like me.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
So we got our turbo in. Hopefully it's good. Everything's tight. So the up pipe collector in the back, that V-band is a booger. I had to take quite a few breaks, but man, it's all about just getting it in the right spot. It's got that little tit that sticks out that's got to go in the hole, and it's you can't see, so you just got to go by feel. But I think it's on. I think we're good. And so now we're going to move on to we're going to do our crossover line, our oil line, and get that going. So all we got left to do now is finishing up. So to get our oil crossover tube, we have to remove these two 5/8 bolts, and that's where our crossover line will plug in. So when you're getting these on there, you know, there's always the torque spec. Um, Pfeffer torque is tight but not too tight. But if you're one of those folks that read the directions, it'll probably tell you. So now we got our crossover tube in. You can see we got it oriented around the turbo. So now we're gonna tighten up our fittings here. Obviously these are tight but not too tight as well. Now we're gonna work on the intake manifold. Got a couple of little doodads for this that we're gonna be installing. The intake plenums on these are notorious for bending and things like that, especially when you're trying to clamp down on it. So we have some inserts for that. So these are our inserts that we're going to install on our intake plenums. See, it's got a little lip there. This side goes in and you just kind of mash it off in there, but they're machined to not really affect any of the airflow, but strengthen up the thin metal factory intake plenum. So I'm going to get these banged off in there. And okay, so to get them installed, you actually have to kind of press them in so they won't just slip in. You got to kind of force them in. So we've got our safety rag that we're going to put over the hole, just in case things go crazy, which they often can here. And then we're gonna have our little piece of wood we're gonna place over the top, and then we're just gonna give it a little tappy and get it in place. Okay, so we got our inserts in. Biggest thing with them is just tap it in. Just tap it in. Little tappy. And they're pretty easy. So now we're gonna get our intake and see if we can't get that on here. Alright, so we've got some new boots that we're gonna install. The old ones were pretty frail, so we're gonna go ahead and install these. Got most everything that we've done here from Riff Raff Diesel, so went ahead and got these as well. Okay, so we've got everything back together with the exception of the intercooler tubes and the intake. Before we go any farther, I think I want to try to start him and see what we got. It'll be easier to see if we have any any leaks or anything like that. So we're going to give it a shot, see what happens. Cover your ears, darling. Okay, truck fired up. We're good. We did have a little bit of a leak on one of our H-pop lines at the H-pop. Tighten that down. We should be good to go. Not an easy thing to reach once you've got most everything back on, so took a little bit of contortionism, but we got it locked down, I think. So all we got left to do now is get our intercooler tubes back on, our intake, and then our new coolant reservoir, and then top off our coolant. So every once in a while we dodge a bullet. Obviously, had some of that stuff got caught up in the fan or the belt, it could have been a bad day. But hey, sometimes it works out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.